fills me in the air, it shivers cold and thin.
Echoes of the Forgotten Bride. Episode 5, The Banquet of Salt and Sorrow. There are doors that should never be opened, invitations that should never be accepted, tables where the price of admission is far more than you know. But ambition makes us blind, and hunger makes us foolish. This is the fifth echo. Sofia Reyes had never been to a place like the Blackwater estate. She'd grown up in subsidized housing, worked 3 jobs to pay for community college, transferred to Havens End University on a scholarship that covered tuition but nothing else. She ate ramen, wore thrift store clothes, studied in the library because her apartment was too cold to concentrate. She was brilliant, everyone said so, top of her class, but brilliance without money is just potential, and potential doesn't pay rent. So when Julian Blackwater noticed her, really noticed her, it felt like fate. He was everything she wasn't: old money, effortless grace, the kind of person who'd never worried about anything as pedestrian as a phone bill. He was beautiful in the way of people who'd never had to fight for anything, tall, dark-haired, with eyes like a winter sea. They had one class together, maritime history, a requirement for her, an amusement for him. Professor Hendricks was discussing the founding families of Havens End, the Blackwaters, the Mercers, the Hartleys, the families who'd built the town's wealth on shipping and fishing and things less spoken about. Julian raised his hand, a lazy, confident gesture. "Professor, you forgot to mention that the Blackwaters also established the first bank and the first church. We've always believed in serving the community." His smile was perfect. Sofia found herself staring. After class, he approached her. "You're Sofia, right? The scholarship student everyone's talking about." She bristled. "I'm Sofia. I don't know about the rest." "Don't be offended, it's a compliment. You got here on merit, that's rare, admirable. And you got here on legacy admissions." His smile widened. "True, but I'm honest about it. Look, I'm having a small gathering this weekend. Study group. Well, study group with better wine than the campus center provides. You should come." "I don't really do the social thing. I have work." "It's about the midterm, Professor Hendricks's essay. I have some family documents that might help, original sources, the kind of thing that could turn a good paper into a great one." Sofia hesitated. She needed a great paper, needed perfect grades to keep her scholarship, and she was curious about him, about the world he came from. "Okay, I'll come." The Blackwater estate sat on a cliff overlooking the ocean. It was massive, Gothic, the kind of place that had a name instead of an address. Blackwater Hall, built in 1875 by Julian's great-great-grandfather. Sofia arrived in her 10-year-old car, parked next to BMWs and Teslas, felt immediately out of place. Julian met her at the door. He was dressed casually, expensive casual, the kind of sweater that cost more than her monthly rent. "Sofia, you came, I'm glad." Inside was overwhelming: cathedral ceilings, oil paintings of stern ancestors, furniture that belonged in museums, and people, beautiful people, dressed like they were attending a gallery opening, not a study group. Sofia looked down at her jeans and clearance rack blouse. "I'm underdressed." "You're perfect, come on, let me introduce you." The other students were all from prominent families. They had the easy confidence of people who'd never been told no. They smiled at Sofia, said welcoming things, but she could see it in their eyes. She didn't belong. Julian stayed close to her, attentive, charming. He made her feel seen in a way she'd never experienced, like she mattered, like her intelligence was valued. They didn't study, not really. They drank wine that tasted like liquid gold, ate food prepared by an actual chef, talked about art and travel and things Sofia had only read about. And Julian kept finding ways to touch her, a hand on her back, fingers brushing hers, small gestures that made her heart race. As the evening wound down, he walked her to her car. The night air was cold, the ocean crashed far below. "This was nice, you should come to our Founders' Day banquet next month. It's a tradition." The founding families celebrate the anniversary of Havens End's incorporation. I'm not from a founding family. Julian smiled. You don't have to be, you just have to be invited. And I'm inviting you. It's formal, it's elaborate, it's a test. A test of what? Whether you're worthy of our world, whether you fit. That should have been a warning, should have made her angry, but instead, Sofia felt challenged. She'd spent her whole life proving herself. One more test, she could pass it. I'll come. The month leading up to the banquet was a fever dream. Julian pursued her, real pursuit, dates at expensive restaurants, tickets to the symphony, gifts that made her uncomfortable, but that she accepted anyway, because refusing felt rude. He introduced her to his family. His mother, Vivienne, was cold but polite. His father, Harrison, barely acknowledged her. His younger sister, Isolde, looked at her with something like pity. You really like her? Isolde asked Julian when she thought Sofia couldn't hear. I think she's interesting, different, fresh. She's a novelty, you know that, right? She won't last past the banquet. We'll see. Sofia pretended not to hear, pretended the words didn't sting. She could win them over, she could prove she belonged. She'd always been good at proving herself. The week before the banquet, a dress arrived. No note, just a box. Inside was the most beautiful gown Sofia had ever seen. Midnight blue, silk, with delicate silver embroidery that looked like waves. It fit perfectly, like it had been made for her. She tried to return it, too expensive, too much, but Julian insisted, it's a gift for the banquet, you'll need it, trust me. The night of the banquet, Sofia felt like Cinderella. The dress transformed her, professional hair and makeup, borrowed jewelry. She looked like she belonged in Julian's world. He picked her up in a vintage car, stared at her like he was seeing her for the first time. You're stunning, perfect. They drove to Blackwater Hall. The estate was lit up like something from a fairy tale. Lanterns lined the drive, music drifted from inside, other cars arrived, other beautiful people in expensive clothes. Sofia's heart pounded. This was it, the test. She would pass, she would show them. Inside, the ballroom was breathtaking. Crystal chandeliers, a string quartet, tables set with china and silver that gleamed, and people, so many people, the elite of Havens End, all the founding families. Everyone wore masks, ornate, beautiful, covering the upper half of their faces. It's tradition, Julian explained, placing a silver mask over her eyes. We wear them until midnight, then we reveal ourselves. It felt theatrical, romantic. Sofia let herself be swept up in it. The banquet began, course after course. The food was exquisite but strange. Dishes Sofia couldn't identify, glistening, iridescent, tasting of the sea but also of something else, something indefinable. The first course was described as pearls of the deep, tiny, translucent spheres that burst on the tongue with flavors of salt and starlight. The second course was called Memory of Storms, a silvery soup that tasted like rain and ozone and grief. The third course was Tears of the Drowned, a delicate fish prepared in a way that made it seem almost alive, its eyes still clear, still watching. Sofia felt uneasy. The food was incredible, but wrong. Each bite made her feel strange, lightheaded, disconnected. Around her, the other guests ate with reverence, with hunger, like this was more than food, like it was sacrament. Julian leaned close. You're doing wonderfully. They're impressed. Who's impressed? All of them. You're being evaluated, considered. For what? He smiled. You'll see. As midnight approached, Sofia noticed something, the other guests' faces. Behind the masks, their skin looked wrong, waxy, too smooth, and when they laughed, the sound was hollow, synchronized. She looked around the table, found her place setting. Next to her plate was something she hadn't noticed before, a ring, silver, delicate, with a small engraving. A lily. Sofia's blood ran cold. She'd heard the stories. Everyone in Havens End had heard them. The forgotten bride, the silver lily ring, the curse that claimed brides for the sea. This wasn't a banquet, this was something else. She stood abruptly, her chair scraped. The music stopped. Everyone turned to look at her. Julian caught her wrist. "Sit down, you're making a scene." "Let me go." "Sofia, please, you don't understand yet, but you will." The clock struck midnight, the guests removed their masks, and Sofia saw their faces, really saw them. They were old, ancient. Some had faces she recognized from paintings in the historical society, from photographs from a century ago, the same faces, the same people, unchanged, preserved. Impossible, this was impossible. Harrison Blackwater stood, raised his glass. The room fell silent. "We gather tonight as we have gathered for generations to renew our pact, to honor the agreement that has sustained our families, our wealth, our power. The sea gives and the sea takes, and we pay what is owed." He gestured to Sofia. "This year's offering has been selected, chosen for her strength, her intelligence, her fighting spirit, all qualities the bride values, all qualities that will sustain her, and in return sustain us." Sofia tried to run, but Julian held her. His grip was iron, his face apologetic but determined. "I'm sorry, I really am, but this is bigger than us, than you and me. This is tradition, legacy, the price of prosperity." The other guests stood, formed a circle R. Aundher began to chant in a language Sofia didn't recognize. Old, guttural, the language of deep water and drowned things. The food, the strange, beautiful food, it hadn't been just food, it had been preparation, each course containing essence. Memory, pieces of past brides, past offerings. Sofia had consumed them, had taken them into herself. She was the vessel now, the container for all that accumulated sacrifice. The floor beneath her feet began to shift, to ripple. Water seeped up through the floorboards, salt water, rising, filling the room. A figure emerged from the water, the forgotten bride, but not a ghost, something more real, more solid, made of the water itself and the hundreds of lives that had fed her over the centuries. She was beautiful and terrible, young and ancient. Her wedding dress was made of foam and seaweed. Her eyes were empty, hungry. She reached for Sofia. "You will join us, become us, feed us, and we will feed them." The cycle continues. The debt is paid, the town prospers. Sofia felt the water rising, felt it pulling at her, felt the essence of all those past brides reaching out, trying to absorb her, make her part of the collective. But Sofia had spent her whole life fighting poverty, fighting prejudice, fighting for every inch of space she occupied in the world. She wasn't going to stop now. She looked at Julian, at the guilt in his eyes, at the conflict. "I trusted you, I thought you cared about me." I did, but this is bigger than personal feelings." "No, it's not. Nothing is bigger than a person's life, than their choice. You're all monsters, rich, comfortable monsters who buy your prosperity with blood." Sofia grabbed the silver lily ring, held it up. "You want a sacrifice, you want a worthy bride, then she has to choose it. Doesn't she? That's what makes it powerful, the willing surrender, the acceptance." The bride tilted her head, considering. "Yes, the gift must be given, not taken." "Then I refuse your test. I refuse your banquet. I refuse to be your food." She threw the ring, it arced through the air, landed in the water, sank. For a moment nothing happened, then the bride screamed, a sound like 100 voices, 100 drowned women crying out in rage and grief and something like joy. The water began to boil, to churn. The guests stumbled back, their perfect, preserved faces cracking, showing age beneath, centuries of age. They'd been sustained by the ritual, by the offerings. Without it, time caught up. The bride looked at Sofia. One last time, her face shifted, showed all the women she'd consumed, all the stolen lives, and underneath the hunger was something else. Exhaustion, pain, the desire to stop. "Thank you for refusing, for breaking the chain." Then she dissolved, the water receded. The ballroom was just a ballroom again. Old, decrepit, cobwebbed. The glamour had been part of the magic, part of the sustained illusion. The guests collapsed, some turned to dust, others aged rapidly. Withered, the Blackwater family fell. Harrison, Vivienne, they'd been alive since the ritual's inception, over 150 years. Now it was over. Julian crumpled, but he aged differently, slower. He'd been born into this, but he was still young, still mortal enough to survive. He looked up at Sofia. his face lined now. Older human, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I was raised to believe this was right, necessary. Sofia looked down at him. No pity, no forgiveness, just cold clarity. You chose comfort over conscience. You chose tradition over humanity. I hope you live a long time, Julian, long enough to really understand what you did. She walked out, past the aging, crumbling guests, past the decay of old money and older evil, out into the night. Her car was still there. She drove away from Blackwater Hall, away from Haven's End. She didn't stop until she was 3 states away. She never went back, changed her name, finished her degree somewhere else, built a life on her own terms. But sometimes, late at night, she thought about the bride, about all those women who'd been consumed, about how close she'd come to joining them. And she remembered that ambition without ethics is just hunger, that beauty without truth is just glamour, that some invitations, no matter how tempting, should always be refused. Because the most important test isn't whether you can fit into someone else's world. It's whether you can stay true to yourself when that world tries to devour you. The sea remembers, but so do survivors. And their stories, their refusals, their stubborn insistence on their own worth, those are the spells that break curses. This has been Echoes of the Forgotten Bride, Episode 5, The Banquet of Salt and Sorrow. Join us next time for Episode 6, Where the Sea Sleepers Lie. Until then, remember that not every door should be opened, and not every hunger should be fed.